Last year, I watched a brilliant founder lose a 1 million deal. It's not because the product wasn't good. It is excellent. Although because he's not good at sales, he's a master at it. It's because he procrastinated on sending a crucial email for over 3 weeks. And see, while most entrepreneurs are over obsessed with building the technical skills of marketing, sales, all that stuff, they typically miss the most devastating blind spot, the thing that actually carries the most weight in business. And I learned this the hard way because I started my career working in finance, in private equity and venture capital, and investing and mentoring and coaching entrepreneurs that were building fantastic businesses from the ground up, working hard, making strategic decisions, hiring the right people. But at some point, they will hit a ceiling. They will stop doing the things they needed to do to get to the next level, or they started making easily preventable mistakes. This video is about the thing that made me realize that there's a deeper component to success than just knowing what to do. This hit me so hard that I ended up founding this company, Selfmastered, to help entrepreneurs master this. Because if you don't master this, the cost is enormous. That founder I talked about, he lost a 1 million deal. But the other day, a friend of mine lost his most valuable employee because he had been procrastinated on a crucial promotional discussion for over 3 months. This video will show you exactly what I mean by the hidden edge of success and how to start really mastering it. Welcome back, I'm Castillo, founder of Selfmastered, Performance Institute for founders. I want you to picture this. So you show up at your desk, you know what to do, your phone is in do not disturb, you're clear on what is the result of the work session that you're going to start. But when you're about to enter it, you get distracted. You check Twitter or YouTube real quick, you call someone on the phone, you review the latest ads, you do a little bit more research, and before you notice, the day has elapsed and you don't even know if you achieved anything meaningful. So what is the problem? The problem is not that you didn't know what to do. The problem is that you ended up not doing. It's not a lack of information or a lack of clarity, or lack of discipline or motivation. What hurt you is what I call subconscious resistance or limbic friction in your speech. It's when there's a conflict between the conscious side of the mind and the subconscious side of the mind. What you want to do and what you believe you're capable of doing at that moment. When thoughts, which is the rational side of the mind, and emotions are aligned, you can naturally do the work and performance is maximized. But when there's a conflict between your thoughts and your emotions, you stop. You cannot move forward. And no amount of talent, IQ, or willpower will offset the fact that you are emotionally hijacked by the task you need to do. This is what happened to this founder that had this massive fear of failing with the deal that he was about to sign, that he ended up procrastinating on it, and he didn't send it, and he lost the deal. And this is not a beginner mistake. This happens to everyone at all levels of business. Why? Because success is not tactical. Success is deeply emotional. You can be the highest IQ guy in the world and know exactly what needs to be done in order to get to the next level, but you won't do it if you are not emotionally aligned with the plan, if you're not emotionally invested in that success. So this happens to everyone. And the 4 ways in which this manifests is: 1, when you move too slow, when you delay the things you know you have to do, when you consistently do more research and ponder and overthink and ruminate over a decision that should be clear. That's typically a very clear sign of subconscious resistance. Also, when you make unforced mistakes, when the facts are clear, but you make a decision that is not based on facts, that is based on your own mismanaged emotions. When you fire the wrong person because he wronged you the wrong way, when you choose the bad supplier because you want to be friends with someone else, whatever, when you make wrong decisions that will end up hurting you because they're not logical. The 3rd way is when there's some sort of revenue ceiling. When you've been stuck at the same revenue level is because there's some subconscious resistance to actually do the thing you know needs to be done to get to the next level. That is very important because you are always the limit of your business success. The business will never outscale you. And finally, leadership gap. This was huge. Is when you are afraid of conflict and you don't have the necessary conversations with your partners, with your employees, with your board of directors about what needs to be discussed because there's some resistance, some fear about it. This happened to my friend the other day who lost this fantastic kind of worker because he procrastinated on that discussion. So these 4 ways in which subconscious resistance typically have CEOs and founders stuck. Now the question is, how do you solve this? How do you make sure you do not have subconscious resistance? Glad you asked, because I built a whole company around this concept. And after working with hundreds of entrepreneurs, looking at hundreds of papers and systematizing everything, we realized there's really 4 kind of pillars that actually affect your ability to reduce that friction. And the first pillar is what I call spiritual performance, which has to do with your sense of meaning. The more you feel that your work is meaningful, the more strongly you have a why to propel you forward, the easier the how becomes. There's this quote by Nietzsche: He who has a strong enough why can bear almost any how. So having very strong spiritual connection with your work, extracting meaning from it, is a first step. And in fact, at a brain level, your brain rewires itself when you are working with meaning, when you're purposefully driven to do good work. In fact, dopamine can shoot up to 50% and serotonin by 30%. So it's no joke. The first step is to intimately care about your work, about your results, about your clients. Then step number 2 is mental performance. Is when you frame your mind to expect that resistance and let go of the subconscious patterns that are driving that resistance. This is when you build mental strength, so you can build up your discipline and your focus muscle. You can, over time, be able to sustain focus for longer periods. In fact, you can rewire your brain and reduce attention residue by up to 50% if you consistently train it. Pillar number 3 is physiological performance, which is about priming your nervous system to be calm, collected and in control, relaxed, having strategic rest and recovery periods throughout your day to lower your activation baseline, to use exercise and deep breathing as strategic tools to build up your nervous system. The less activated your nervous system is, the more in control of your mind you'll be. And finally, the 4th pillar is executive performance, which is actually knowing what to do and doing it with enough speed to get feedback and improve over time. So you can collect the right proof that tells you that you're working on the right things. When you master yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and from an executive perspective, you become the most elite entrepreneurs you could ever become. And magic typically happens because what used to take days now takes hours. You naturally become disciplined. You look forward to your job. You spend your life in flow. How do I know this? Because we've been training people for over 7 years at this point, and the typical result within 12 weeks is that they're able to do 3 times more done and scale like crazy without any burnout, without any overwhelm, without any subconscious resistance that leads to distractions or procrastination. So understand, the number 1 growth hack you want is not external, is internal. Is anything that allows you to reduce the subconscious resistance so that the conscious mind and the subconscious minds can actually be working in unison. This is what elite performers always prioritize. This is the thing that is going to make you crazy successful. It's not how much marketing or sales you know, it's how much you're able to actually deploy what you already know. In other words, how can you show up every day at peak performance so you can achieve in one day what you previously achieved in 1 week. If you want our help with this, book a call with us. We work with a couple people every week. We'll make you the most successful you will ever be. See you on the call.